How's everyone today? Now, as you can see, I'm not from the South, but I could be if you want me to. So anyway, let's get started here. We don't have a lot of time. Let me show you a couple of things that we're working on here, and a couple of things we can help you with. And we'll try to get the sound a little bit higher. Let me just check that. Hold on one second. Hopefully you guys can hear me okay. This is Tesla, a momentum stock, one of the things we looked at recently. These are the kind of returns you could get. Doesn't mean you will, but you have to do a lot of analysis that we're going to go into. Well, we took a 10-cent investment. Now, even though that we're across the pond, we still trade the U.S. market. I don't care if you're from Australia, you're from the UK, or anywhere in the world. The U.S. market has such great flexibility for us to trade. So 10 cents went to $3. That is a 3,000% return, which I think is amazing. How many of you would be okay with that? Is that all right? 3,000%. That means if you invested $1,000, that's $30,000 in a very short period of time. All right. What we do is we're institutional traders. We're not educational providers. So I want to make that crystal clear. And for those of you who send us an email, we're not here trying to sell you anything, even for $5. My goal here is totally to educate you, because I follow the model of John Arnold. This was a little trade we did on Netflix. This says 25 cents to $4, but this is John Arnold. So let me educate you here, and then I have tons of real-time results over the last many years to show you. So John Arnold, if you don't know, does anyone know who he is? You heard of him? You can Google him right now if you want. I have done that work for you. Hold on one second. This is John Arnold, and he is a billionaire. He trades natural gas for a living, and we focus on trading commodities. We do a lot of other things too for accounts that are smaller than a few $1 million, but we're institutional, which means we trade large amounts of money, and we are regulated. Very different from a few folks that have come before us. I think a little bit about me here. My bio is a little bit later, but why would you be here in the first place? Obviously to make money, but it's more important than that. I came here because of time. I am a professional banker. In fact, let me show you our whole enchilada here, as it will. We're part of the group De Novo Formations. Ron Myers is our CEO. I'm one of his traders. And he started over 80 banks in the last 30 plus years. And I could give you 10 references of some of the largest banks in North America that we've started. Okay, you can call them up tomorrow. That is a background. And as institutional traders, we have to trade accounts of over 50 million and up. So if you were to send me an email, I can prove that. I don't want to disclose that here, but I will show that to you. So trying to elicit a few $100s is not my intention. My goal is that you learn from us on how to trade, and then see, what you want to do after that. After a week or two of watching us do it real time in front of your eyes. Because I have one phrase: seeing is believing, and there's a lot to see. I'll go into that a little bit later, because my time is brief. Now, we're going to go over a couple of these videos here later. I have all these videos loaded up. The last gentleman said he's been trading for 37 years. I'm not that age yet. Most folks in my world are actually under 40, and they've achieved great wealth in that period of time. How many of you want to wait 20 years to make money, or 2 years? You have a choice today, and that choice you'll make later on. Our goal is to grow quickly, not slowly, and you can do that with consistent returns. The goal for me is to make the largest percentage return in the shortest period of time. You have many markets of what to choose to do that. You can do it in commodities, you can do it in Forex. There are no Forex billionaires, by the way. There are no option billionaires. Do you know why? Options is not liquid enough to allow you for that growth. You're limited by a certain amount of capital. The highest growth today, either you're long-term like Warren Buffett, that's very difficult to do, or you're short-term like me, that we try to grow your money on a daily or weekly basis. Let me show you some beautiful bean footage here, all right? This is a typical trade that we would do. Let me play this video, because the video tells 1,000 words, and this is not an account statement. You see it real time, more powerful. We are right on about 70 to 80% on our trades. No one is right every time, not me, not even John Arnold. We follow his model to the letter, because before Mark Zuckerberg became the youngest billionaire in the world, it was John Arnold, and I'm following that to a letter. So this is a trade we did on oil when oil was going up a little bit here. And if we bought one contract, we need about $2,000 in our account right now. Let me just go back here 1 second. We need about $2,000 in our account, and when we buy one contract, let me pause it here, we're up $708 in a few minutes, okay? So I tell you when to get in, I tell you when to get out. I do it for large investors. But for the next 2 weeks, because of Traders Live invitation, the amount of webinars I've done this year is 0. So excuse me if I'm not as polished, because this is not my goal. Real traders don't teach a lot. We don't have an educational company. We have an investment company. It's two very different things. So you're welcome to come and see what we actually do. So here, if you look at it carefully, we bought one contract on a hammer. That's all real. Candlesticks do work. And as it was going up, we're making money. $1,000 on a $2,000 account. That is 50% in a few minutes, okay? And that's really impressive. And we can do that consistently. That's how you take money at light speed. You follow what I'm saying? I'm not kidding around. We got, it's a long way from London. Let me just tell you that right now, to be here with you today. All right? And this just happened at the last second for me to be on. So what we do here, this is, you see 17 minutes. I'll send you a whole video of 2 hours for 5 years worth of data. So you can ponder that. It's for free. You don't need a dime from me. That's $1,000 here, okay? Now, I know we have a few professionals or some business owners here and say, I may make $1,000 in my regular job. Hey, more power to you. I'm trading here one contract. I trade a lot more than one, and I'm going to show you that in a little bit, okay? Just bear with me here, one step at a time. A lot of the concepts that the presenters have talked are very important. They're all good. But the issue is you want to learn from someone or a group that actually can show you on a massive level. We have accounts of over 50 million. If I show you now, you'll fall off your chair. So I want you to take the invitation to email us. Then we'll send you silver platter. We just have to know who the client is we're talking to. You don't have to be an institutional investor to see that we have money, but we want to know who you are. Just a little bit, just your name, a little bit about you. All right. So here, the rule of 72. The rule of 72 is very important. Why trading can be more lucrative than other professions. And you want to be your own boss. Take vacations when you want. You want to analyze, from John Arnold, how he's done what he's done. And it's an impressive story. Do you know, several years ago when he became a billionaire in 2007, he crushed the Amaranth hedge fund. And they lost $5 billion. He made $5 billion. Isn't that nice, right? These are candlesticks. I can go into them in great detail, but I won't for lack of time, but I'm happy to do that another time here. In 45 minutes, we just want to give you what we're about, what we can do, and show you a few results. These candlesticks, we come to life. A lot of folks write books on candlesticks. I don't have any damn time to write a book. My goal is to trade. You follow that? Watch this here. So if you look at this, this is called a bearish engulfing pattern. And if you have any questions, guys, I'm happy to be here all day as much as I can for the time we have. But this bearish engulfing pattern caused this market to get destroyed. I'm going to show you a video here. Okay, 1 second. It'll come up in a little bit. I'm doing it live in front of you. I didn't prepare for this. I'm just showing you what my results are. That's all I can do. Okay? Trading was very good today. And on Fridays, we usually take the day off. But Monday to Thursday, we work very hard. You got to have a day off, right? So this is oil when it was $103. It's not $103 now. This is consolidation, right? I was short 10 contracts here. You're going to see that. Seeing is believing, as I said. 10 contracts is still a small order. It's not a big order. You need about 25 grand in your account to do that, okay? So as this fell several dollars, okay, I made about $35,000 to $40,000 in a few hours, okay? How many of you would be okay with that? And how many of you make that in a year? 40 grand? If you come to our classes, you're going to see that happens a lot. This is not one outcome. Here you go. Here's proof. Now, this actual video is wrong. Do you guys know? There's a lie in this video. It says 23 grand in a day, but when I made the annotation, I wasn't very smart on that occasion. 23,000, yes, unrealized, but actually made 19,000 earlier that day. Right, and anyone who knows Interactive Brokers, which is the account we choose, because Goldman Sachs has an account. There are a lot of institutional folks who have accounts there. You know, we do this, right? 22 million and 19 million. Now, if you want to trade with us, you put money in IB, right, in your own name, not in our. We don't want a dime from you. The minimum is $10 million, and we'll do it for you. How's that? So, but look. 22 to 19, that's 40,000. Not too bad, right? Not too bad. And you can do this in commodities on a daily basis. But most of you haven't met someone who can do that, correct? Or you don't know someone. Well, that's changed as of today, right? That's why we're here to help you, right? England, by the way, the UK has the highest growth of traders. Do you know Forex right now has more volume in the Forex market than the US? Right, we love Forex over there in the UK. Commodities probably second, but I personally love, you know, come on. This is another video that I could send you 3 grand on that day, right? Just short one contract. It's all the same crap, really. There are a few techniques we look at to trade, and the goal as an investor or as someone wants to learn, what is different between this guy, that guy, and the other guy? The number one thing for me is results. If anyone can't show you results on a daily, not past, who cares about the damn past? I'm looking at the future. We can prove this on Monday, on Tuesday, and Wednesday, and you're welcome to come for free. I don't want any of you to make an investment in what we do unless you truly know who we are, what we are, and most importantly, the results. It's all about that at the end of the day. Fair enough? All right, so we are skipping a few slides, but remember, we have our whole life to be together, if that's what you want. Whether you earn 50,000 a year or 500,000 a year, we're all losing time, you know. In my mid-30s, I'm getting old. You know why? A little kid told me I was an old man yesterday. Broke my heart, really. I was sad for about a minute. And then I saw a 68-year-old who had no money, who was homeless. In the United States, 85% of people over age 65 have to still earn for a living, right? That's sad, and it really upsets me when I see people like that, and that's why I wanted to do the webinar. You know, because I think we can make a real impact if you're open to just watch what we do, just for a week, right? Just do that for me. And then you see, you don't need to do anything. You're not obligated to sign anything. We don't want the time. I just want to make that crystal clear. I want you to see what real professional traders at banks do for a living. You got that? Now, we all need to use the power of the market to grow our capital as quickly as we can. It's important, and it's important that you understand these principles. I call it, you know, the get freedom test. You know, stop, entry, target. Here's another result. If you need more, I got tons of these, guys, over years, about a decade. Helps to start young, right? If you start in your 20s, in your 30s, you should be a rock star, right? Most traders should achieve great wealth in 3 to 5 years if they're any good. If you're training for 30, 40 years, the number one question you should ask someone, how much have you made? I will show you that next week. It's a lot, okay? Here's 5 contracts, 10 grand. It's actually another misnomer. It's actually 13, but who's counting? Right? You guys are smart, right? You can hang with me. I'm going real slow. Next week I'm going to go faster. Now, understand, we have a plethora of other traders who will take you by the hand, whether you're 87 years old or 7. Our youngest student has been 7. Our oldest has been 86. I'll send you a video of an 86-year-old nice man making $400 in an hour with us. Sure, you talk to him. His name is Sam. Lives in Florida. Nice guy. This is from Forbes. 8 out of 10 businesses fail. I don't care what you do for a living. You all need to use the power of the market to make more money, because people are living longer. We're living a lot longer now. You know, medical technology, you need a lot more money in retirement, that's for sure. So, and if you don't really have a job or you make under 50 grand a year, there's nothing that can pay you more than this, okay? If you make under 40 grand a year, we can employ you. How's that? You don't even have to trade. We're looking for people to spread our wisdom. We have to do it by referral. We don't advertise legally. If you're an institution, you can't advertise. I can't ask for people for 10 million. It's only by referral, buddy, okay? That's how we do things. Trading for real income. Benefits of being a trader: that you do not need a big degree or title. You can trade for 1 hour, 3 hours, or 5 hours a day. It's totally up to you. You know, overseas, you can trade, you know, there are firms out there that will make you trade for an hour or 2, then they bring another guy, and then they bring another guy for the evening. That's how prop firms work. One of the best prop traders in the world is Stephen Schofield. See, I'm going to give you real examples of actual traders who are billionaires, who we follow. And that's important that you understand that. Because these guys trade in a major way, right? If I were you, I want to learn from a group that does it in a major way, right? Not from folks who have 50 or 100 grand in their account. That doesn't prove anything. If you show an institution or firm you trade 100 grand, they'll say, show me what you can do with 10 million. Because with 100K, you can get lucky. With several million, it's not luck. You got to know what you're doing, otherwise you get destroyed. You follow what I mean? So here, common myths. I need a lot of money to trade. No, you don't. 2 grand. That's all you need, right? Forex, we can start you with a few $100. If you got a few $100, you can play. We have a video for a gentleman in San Antonio, took $800 to $5 million in 2 years. True story. I'll send you a video of him making $200,000 in 1 day. It's not me. It is one of you guys, right? And he's in his mid-60s. He's not 35 years old, right? So, you need a lot of money? No, you don't. You need to be educated. It's so funny, education. I have high school dropouts making more money than orthopedic surgeons. And orthopedic surgeons don't do too bad, right? They're all right. Right? Average salary about $450,000 a year, according to alliedphysician.com. It's not too bad. How many of you would take $450 grand a year? I would, but not for bloody 18 hours a day. That's too damn long for me. All right. The stock market has always seemed mysterious. Yes, it is. It is mysterious. You know, living in the U.S. for a lot of years, I'm trying to talk more American. It's coming. I got to be here a little bit longer, you know, working on it. But one needs to be properly educated to do well. You do think you can memorize 13 things? You really don't need 13 things. You need about 5 things. And, you know, then you can understand how to do this. Reasons why people fail. All right, lack of discipline, lack of knowledge, lack of training and mentorship. We'll take care of that, right? Lack of ability to protect capital, limit risk. I'm not going to give you a deadline. Do this today. It expires. I don't play that crap. All right. That's someone who wants to take your money and run. My goal is that you come and see what we can do, and then you make a decision, right? And we want to show you how to trade. And, you know, if fees are a few $100, that's fine. But you should always, if you're paying more than that, you should also see first. You know, if I were an investor, I want to make sure someone who can trade can perform. Very important to me, and I hope that's important to you. Thank God we can do that, right? Are you using the power of compounding your money? what would you like to see on your return? 10, 15, 20%? We're very confident with our methodology because to be part of banks, right, it's not so easy. We go through a huge vegetable. These are our references if you wanted to know. I have tons of them. From banks, not from individuals. Banks, goddammit. You follow what I'm saying? So we were actually part of one of the fastest growing banks in North America called Signature Bank. See, most banks, when you put your money in a bank, you guys don't understand. They can trade it through certain protocols, through Forex and other means. They do it more in Europe and in Asia, but they do it in the US. If you look at Wells Fargo, is one of the biggest banks on the planet. I can send you an email of the top 4 biggest banks in the world are actually Chinese, if you wanted to know. ISBC, Agricultural Bank of China, B of A is in there, Wells Fargo, Lloyds, Barclays, the UK banks, right? The UK is very big in banking, of course. And here are your candlesticks again. See, I want you to really understand how this all works. Dark cloud over and make money going down. Hammer, make money going up. Bearish engulf and make money going down. See if it hit the 200. Once you see retracement, you can buy off of that. Then you may say, hey, I don't have money to pay $200 a share. No, you didn't follow me, love. I want you to play with options. If it hits $200, you buy an option for $1, 50 cents. Weeklies, right? Not long-term options. I went on a webinar once with a few wonderful speakers, but the guy was saying, "Oh, buy long-term options, right? Long-term." No, you don't. You buy long-term if you don't know what the hell you're doing, because you need time to be right. If you know what you're doing, you can trade it just like a day trade vehicle. Now, you can trade long-term options if you want to swing a position trade, but if you know how to make money at light speed, you make money quickly. There's a guy, you may have heard of him, his name is Donald Trump, all right? He's all right? Depends on what you think, but he's all right for the market, no matter what you think about that, about him. He causes the market to move, right? And God bless him for that. Because if you make more money, you can go live somewhere else if you want, That's all I care about at the end of the day. That the market moves and we can profit. And that market is moving at light speed, I'm telling you. Over the next several months, with or without you, we're going to do very, very well. I'd like to do it with you so you can watch what we do and follow along and make money with us. That's our whole intention. But our first intention is to get you educated for free for a week. If you need another week to make a decision, hey, we're really cool, right? We're English, right? You can do that. It's not a problem. Okay, so let's see. Make money consistently on a daily basis. How many of you really do that, honestly? Right? You come to any class we have, I can guarantee we make 80% on any given day, right? And I have videos over 6 years to prove that very fact. No bank is going to hire us unless we can prove it every goddamn day. You follow what I'm saying? Right? See, when I get aggressive, I get more American. It's kind of funny, right? At the very least, you'll be able to earn a higher return on your money, whether you want to make a trade a day or one on a yearly basis. That's our ultimate goal. So you don't, be one day where you don't have money, because it's a scary possibility. And that's what really worries me, that a lot of folks, their wages haven't increased. They don't have a way of growing their capital. And it's sad in that way. But anyway, forget all that. You can change that, right? Just by joining us. You have nothing to lose and everything to gain. And I want you to tell me after the class, or all the traders, if they're doing the classes, that we're right 80% of the time. If I can show you that for 2 weeks straight, then make a decision. Is that fair? Right? No one's going to tell you that here. Come for 2 weeks, I'll be right 80%, and then make a decision. We can do that. The gentleman we showed you today, he's been doing this for 35 years. This guy over here, but doing it the right way. He's very wealthy. He owns several banks. You understand what I'm saying? So a very big difference to managing 100 grand and owning a bank. We're a little bit different than what you're probably used to. And this is what you need. When you make a decision on any investment, you want the investment to be fair. This is what I'm talking to you as an institutional trader. We invest in projects, in businesses, in corporations. We monetize that. We do a lot of different things. We're just talking on one level. But you have to assess the safety of the investment. The safety is you come for free. Then you have time to evaluate. That's good. You have no pressure to do anything. That's also good. If any of those things are violent, because I didn't see any other folks before me, you need to think carefully, right? Because yes, it's a small fee, but why waste money if you don't have to, right? You want to be sure. And that's really critical, because investments of $100 or $200, you'll have the same investment for $5 grand, 10 grand, 100 grand. And it's the same thing, it's just more dollars, right? So please understand games and investments. I can teach you all that stuff, and I will. What will you learn from us? A hell of a lot, actually, if you didn't know. A complete, solid foundation. You need to understand how to be a trader, okay? No indicator is going to teach you how to be a trader. There's no indicator on the world that can predict the market, right? If it were, any algorithm would be a robot and it would be go to town, right? Real banks and real hedge funds use real traders with real brains to figure this crap out. You follow what I'm saying? So you need to understand the systems that professionals use, right? And then execute on those systems. A precise system for entry and exit points. Rule sets. Now, we use indicators, but we use our brain first, okay? Not that indicators are bad, and all indicators are derived from price, okay? And the number one thing is we would learn from a guy if they were showing us you can make $1 million a day. I have no problem learning from anybody. Even, one of the biggest mistakes I ever made, you want me to have a little humility here? I'm very happy to be humble. A long time ago, when Uber was not Uber, I went to a nice restaurant called the Waffle House. Maybe some of you heard it, right? And this guy said, hey man, there's these things going on. You got to invest in this taxi thing. I don't know what it is, right? You didn't know I could do that, right? Oh, sure, I got a lot of talents. And we didn't listen to him. Bad mistake. I will never make that again. Just because of the circumstance that you're in, we should never judge anyone by who they are or what they are. And that was Uber. It was a small investment on a secondary market, and that would be a fortune today. We didn't do the investment, obviously, right? So you learn from your mistakes, and that's what you should do. Learn from your mistakes and grow better. The most important thing with this game is you can work from the comfort of your own home, right? The waffle, yeah. That was a while ago after a club, and remember we are in our mid-30s, so that was late 20s. You do these kind of things. I'm not endorsing all that, right? And I'm a little bit more serious than I was back then, but yeah, it's kind of nice. So, have you ever imagined what your life would look like if you worked an hour a day? I do. I do it every damn day. We have countless number of individuals who are just doing that. Okay, and they're happy to talk to you once you understand, once you see it. What's the cost of traditional education? It's a lot, all right? A lot of folks we know went to med school, college, and, med school is different. You can get a job as a doctor, but a lot of folks who go to regular college, they can't even get a job today. It's terrible, right? And our course is like this. We didn't put the slideshow, but basically we have 64 hours of training for you. It's flexible with your schedule. Everything is recorded. See, these are our recordings for the other day. All right? Look at this, what we did here. Intraday, 8-1, all recent recordings that we have. And we do it live, and then we record and give it to you. And then we show you, live trades 2 days a week, right? Tuesdays and Thursdays. So I'll discuss the timings with you another time, but and everything can be recorded. We have students all over the place, all over the world, actually. So you can come for a free discussion where we go over your investments, right? All your investments, strategically discuss the markets for you, your particular situation. And we have a few appointments available. You can call this number or this email here. That's JRODG7890 @gmail.com. Please take a note of that. and you know, and then we can go forward. And our goal here, you've seen that already. Let me go through another video. And this is a really cool video because, you know, a lot of folks, I remember when we did this live, they were worried about the consolidation, okay? Because in the consolidation, you don't know if it goes up or what. You can have a buy stop order, just to give you more insight, to protect your investment. All right, so if it goes up, I don't want to lose. I'll make this spread, but I was lucky. Luck helps, and it got killed. And I said to the guys to be patient. A lot of folks, right? And usually, for the last 5-6 years, we've only done it for high net worth investors. When I say high net worth, guys who have 10 million liquid in the bank. How many of you are like that? I don't think any of you, right? As of this year, we've changed that for regular folks, all right? We are not allowed to advertise it. We can just speak about it like this. So we have to do right by you because we have a fiduciary responsibility. Remember those banks I told you about? Yeah, other folks don't have those criteria. They can do whatever the hell they want to you. I'm a little bit different. We have to take care. We're not allowed to solicit. There's rules we have to follow by. And we trade very large account sizes. So if you send an email to here, I'm happy to disclose that. And it's well above 100 million euro, okay? So, it's, you know, a little bit of dollars there, right, if you convert it. So that's why I'm quite confident about our methodology, right? There's a very big difference between trading 100 grand and 100 million. Let me just tell you that very frankly. So here, going back to this little thing, you know, the hardest part is the execution, to have the setup to execute it properly. Once you're able to do that, you can follow. Now, all of our trades can happen on a daily basis. They can happen on a swing basis. Hey, blimey, you could do our trades on a yearly basis, but you don't want to do that. Why are you going to do that? It takes too long to make. Our goal is to help you make money at light speed, because that's what we do. If I make $1 on oil in a day, there's not one day which I will fail to do that. That's $1,000 on a $2,000 account. You with me? You got a 20 grand account in there, or 30 grand for a buffer of margin. You're looking at a very huge amount of money. And as I said before, seeing is believing. Okay, you come next week, you're going to see a lot. All right, you're going to see results better and bigger than I've shown you here. All right, we're just playing around. And you know, you have any questions on anything? And I don't know how we're doing on time. I think we're okay, I guess. Perfect timing, I think, right? But I just want to know if you have any questions on anything, and because I'll be here for a little bit longer. And just to remind you, this is our information here. This is our number, and you can email us here. And our actual main company, you can find us here at De Novo Formations. That's our institutional company where we start banks for institutional clients, and we put traders in there, and he's the man. He's in charge of it, and he employs all of us rich traders to do the work. Okay, so that's why we don't, you know, education is not our forte. We're not in the educational industry. Most traders who trade for banks don't teach folks. Let's just put it out there, okay? That's why it's a Gmail account. Oh, it's not a professional email. No, we don't do it on a big basis, right? See, let me educate you a little bit, a little more, okay? Guys who charge you a lot of money for education, no one did it here, so everyone here is wonderful. But there are other companies out there who charge you a fortune for education. That's a business, okay? They're not actually trading, right? Because if you were, you wouldn't charge that. You just don't need. I just trade for 10 minutes. You follow what I'm saying? So you can take this number down, and let me just see here. Email, let me see. For the week session, yeah, you just email the address and say, I was on this webinar. We'll know exactly, so don't worry about that. Just email and request that you want a week. We can have one of our guys talk to you, too, to explain the timings and how that is and go over everything. It was an honor here to speak with you today. I'll do a couple of other trades here. Let me just go here. This is one of our other trades, and you could tell me when, so that's fine. Just to give a little bit more value here. So this was 25 cents to about $3 on Baidu. And, very good move. That I think it's like $3. See, we go into trades on options where we can make a minimum of 5 to 10 times. There are ways to position that with the Greeks and all these things. Otherwise, we don't execute it. We use specific momentum indicators and algorithms to figure that stuff out. I can't tell everything in 45 minutes, but if you come next week, you'll learn all of that. When you put out $25, because you're buying a stock of $200, but it's 25 cents a share. You put out 100 shares, it's only $25. So if you have $200 to your name, you can trade with us. So don't think you need thousands of dollars. Yes, we can trade big markets, but we want to take care of everyone. And any investor, no matter how large or how small, is welcome. And my goal purely today is to teach you about institutions, how they work. Please look up the names I gave you. I gave you them because I know you would look them up. Google John Arnold. Please learn about what he's done and how he's done it. There's enough information out there on Forbes and all these different places where they're not going to teach you. We are. That's the difference. But you can learn about how these big traders have achieved. And one of the best books out there is called Market Wizards by Jack Schwagner, which you could look at, and it talks about how big traders make it happen. And thank you so much for allowing me to be here today. I hope you learned something, and we'll look forward to working with you soon. Thank you so much.